Hey, good morning, everybody. It's Janet Hilts here. And I promised that I was going to show you some tips on how you can get your own day going right. Because it's really totally your choice about how you want to feel each day. And this is something that I do every day without fail, because it makes such a huge difference in my mindset. And that is that I use affirmations. Now, I didn't always use them. I probably first started trying to use them about, maybe 25, 30 years ago. And I used other people's affirmations and I just didn't believe them. I felt like I was lying to myself. And what I didn't get was that there are different ways to use affirmations that make them a lot more effective. And so I'm going to show you the things that have worked for me to really start my day off great. I don't care if I wake up feeling crummy physically, or if I wake up and I've been dreaming about something ugly, or if I wake up and I'm instantly start thinking about what has to happen for my day. This switches the whole thing over so I have a much better day. So the first thing I did was I chose affirmations from some sources online. I used some that some mentors had suggested, some that I've gotten out of books, and some that pertain to my life right now, how I want some specific things to turn out. And let me just say that there's going to be a replay of this available so you can play it again and take notes. If you just want to listen right now, that's fine. But I'm going to give you a lot of tips here. So the first thing is to choose your affirmations. And if you want to write some of your own, look up some guidelines about how best to do that. So you want them in the present tense. You want them in action form. And I'm not going to go into more details on that. There's plenty of resources on that for you. An important thing is to write them, and actually if you tap them out, if you type them out, they're easier for you to read. And then you want to put them somewhere where they're really easy to find. So what I've done with mine is I've typed them out. I put them on, I'll show you. I put them on colored paper so they don't get lost in a pile of white papers. And I put them in a sheet cover so I don't have to worry about it getting wrinkled, stuff spilled on it. I know where it is. If you're concerned about your privacy, you could put it in your dresser drawer, you could put it under your pillow, you could tuck it in a cabinet in the bathroom, doesn't matter. Somewhere where you know you can go to your list every day. And then say them out loud to yourself in the mirror. It can be, for me, it was a challenge at first. I was not used to looking myself in the eye and talking to myself. I felt a little nuts in the beginning, but you'll get used to it. And the reason you want to say them out loud and not just read them silently is that you're given instructions to your subconscious about how to choose your thoughts for the day, about how to respond to things for the day. And when your subconscious hears these things coming from you in your own voice, it registers much more deeply than if you just silently read a list to yourself. Looking yourself in the eye makes it register even more deeply. There's scientific research about how this fires off different parts of your brain that all work together to help you be in control of how your thinking goes throughout the day. So again, if privacy is a concern for you and you don't want other people in your household hearing what you're saying out loud, even whispering it out loud to yourself in the bathroom with the door closed, staring into the medicine cabinet, that will work just fine. The trick is to say these things with enthusiasm. Now, that's one reason why I didn't believe them. But if you think about it like this, think if you're encouraging a little girl who's just learning how to ride a bicycle, and she's talking about how scared she is that she's going to fall off, the tone that you use with her and the facial expression you use with her, the body language you use with her is meant to encourage her, right? You say it with enthusiasm. You say it with inflection in your voice. You're going to do great. I'm going to be right here with you the whole time, even if you suspect that she's going to fall. It doesn't change how you encourage her, does it? So think of that when you're encouraging yourself with these affirmations. That's why you want enthusiasm. That's why you want a smile on your face when you're talking to yourself. In fact, this was really fascinating to me. I noticed my own body language when I was doing my affirmations. And I held the list up right here next to me, and I was reading them. And with some of them, I was reading them kind of like this. And I thought, oh, I'm shaking my head no while I'm reading this thing. So I intentionally nodded while I was reading those kind of iffy affirmations. Like, yes, this is what I want for myself. Another thing is that what you're doing this to raise your spirits. So another body language thing you can use to help yourself is use your hands to lift yourself up. So I'll give you a couple of examples. Here are some right off of my list. It's I am connecting with the best people. I am connecting with the best people. I am connecting with the best people. Do you see how that's really different from I'm connecting with the best people? You got to put some suction behind it. One thing that's really helpful, I was reading some research that said that the most successful people, like millionaires, what they do with their affirmations is they speak them in the third person. So I want you to try that too. I alternate every other day. What that means is instead of saying, I am connecting with the best people, I say, Janet, you are connecting with the best people. That's third person, where I'm talking to myself and calling myself by name. And it feels really different. And I know it's registering different in my brain and in my subconscious. So what I do is one day I read my list saying I am connecting with the best people. I always do what feels good, what it takes to feel good when I'm working. I am vibrantly healthy now. And the next day I'll say, Janet, you are connecting with the best people. Janet, you always do what it takes to feel good when you're working. Janet, you are vibrantly healthy now. See, it's a whole different twist on it, right? You can also switch it up by changing the emphasis of your voice on the words from day to day. Like one day, you can always emphasize the I. I am connecting with the best people. I always do what it takes to feel good when I'm working. I am vibrantly healthy now. And the next day, I am connecting with the best people. I am vibrantly healthy now. And the next day can be, I am connecting with the best people. And keeping these affirmations fresh by doing things like switching the wording, switching your vocal emphasis while you're doing it, changing your hand movements. Those can all make a really big difference on the impact that this practice will have for you. And speaking of practice, it's so helpful to do this every day, so it just becomes a habit. And you can easily tie it to another habit, like do it right after you brush your teeth for first thing in the morning. It's really best if you do this for yourself before you hit the electronics, before you check your phone, before you look at the computer. And here's why. Because all those text messages, all that Facebook information, all those emails, those are other people's agendas for your day. I want you to determine your own agenda first. It's going to have a big impact on how you feel when you read those text messages, when you listen to those phone messages, when you get on social media, because you've already set the direction you want to go. So this is such a simple tool to use. And I'm only sorry that I didn't discover these things years earlier, because as I said, I gave up on affirmations. I thought those must work for somebody else who's not lying to herself, because it all felt like a pack of lies to me. And earlier this week, I told you another tip, and that is if there is something on your list that feels scary to you, then I want you to alternate the wording and start it out by saying, it is safe to. Like for me, if I were uncomfortable connecting with people, instead of saying, I am connecting with the best people, I could say, it is safe for me to connect with the best people. And that can really help calm any anxiety that might come up with these affirmations you create for yourself. So I'll be back soon with some more tips on how you get to take control of your mindset. So this is Janet signing off, and I hope you have a great weekend. Bye.